People across the state of Oregon forced to flee as fire moves in. The high winds and heat making for a dangerous combination.
And this afternoon, there are fires prompting evacuations in Washington, Marion, and Lane counties. Those fires are producing a lot of smoke. We're hearing from many of you saying the sky is red and you have noticed all that smoke in the air.
Now you can see from this map the number of major fire crews are dealing with that all right now. Just take a look at that. And we do want to get right to the latest information on this as well from the weather playing a really huge role in all of it. So let's get right to Chief Meteorologist Matt Zaffino.
Thanks so much, Brittany and Ashley. Yeah, I mean, it's just been a wild 24 to 48 hours here in Oregon. For Portland, we're lucky. We got out of the smoke, but not by much. You can see the smoke from our Wells Fargo camera looking south. This is live, and it is just to our south, covering much of Yamhill County, even parts of Clackamas County as well. Downtown Portland, we're 80 degrees. There's that east wind. It's still gusting. Actually, that's sustained at nearly 30 miles an hour. The gusts have been higher. Look at the humidity. It is a ridiculously low 11%. And if you think that doesn't play into this, it does, because that allows fire to spread super rapidly. This is what we woke up to this morning. See all that smoke over Oregon? That's from the fires that you just mentioned up in the Cascades, and it was just south of the Portland area. Our smoke came from eastern Washington last night, but the winds up there died down, so those fires laid down a bit. So our source region for the smoke, which has been up in northeast Washington, I'm talking about Portland, not the rest of the valley, has really quieted down for a bit. It's not over though, and you can see the smoke plume on our smoke map increasing and coming down our way. So we may see another bout of smoke here in the Portland area with bad air quality as we go into tomorrow, as we see those fires in eastern Washington ramp up just a bit. The rest of the Willamette Valley, where it's already smoky, it's going to remain smoky at least until we get into later tomorrow, and these east winds turn more northerly, and that'll push the smoke farther south. So there will be some relief on the way, but the winds are still just cranking right now. Mainly, this is a west side event. The east side of the state is not seeing the smoke very much, some minor fires there, but because all the strong winds are here from the Cascades westward, that's where we are seeing the worst of the smoke and the worst of the air quality. These winds, they will begin to die down. That's the question I keep getting, but they are going to remain strong overnight. This is not an event where you flip the switch and the winds are over. They're going to gradually ramp down tomorrow, but look, tonight, gusts of 40 miles an hour in the western lowlands, especially near the gorge and the higher terrain. Cascades, hotter, very dry, and gusts of about 40 or 45 overnight. Those east winds will shift to the north Wednesday night, and we'll get some relief on the fires in terms of them being fanned by the winds, but it will remain hot for the rest of the week. We'll have more on this and the air quality later, ladies. Back to you.
Okay, Matt, thank you so much. Well, a couple big fires are burning in Marion County's Santiam Canyon right now. This is all prompting level 3 evacuations in several communities just along Highway 22. Look at this. From above Detroit Lake down to Lyons is where that's happening. Now, there are also evacuations near Silver Falls State Park. The winds have really been driving those fires. The Lyons Head fire exploded in size overnight, fueled by the strong winds. It has now burned more than 27,000 acres. We want to send it out to our Christine Pitawanich, who's been in Marion County all day today. Christine, tell us where you're at right now.
Right now I'm in Staten, and I was just thinking about this. It's 4 o'clock, but it's like nighttime out here. We are just off of Highway 22. Cars are coming into Staten this way. There's a roadblock to my left, meaning that people can't get onto Highway 22 eastbound to go further east. And as I mentioned, 4 o'clock and it's like nighttime. Look up at the sky and look at this hue. I'm not sure what you guys are seeing on your end, but from my end, it is a deep orange reddish hue at this point, and it's gone through various stages throughout the day. At first, when we first got to Staten, it was pretty bad, and then it started clearing up a little bit, and now it's back to this. And I can also tell you there is ash in the air. The smell of smoke is heavy. And I talked a little bit just now about the reddish hue. Well, downtown Staten was looking just that way. Let me show you.
This is downtown Staten at noon, but you wouldn't know it if you didn't have a clock. It was dark, the sky a red hue, and the place a ghost town. That's because people were getting ready to leave or had already left after evacuation orders were issued Monday night. Many of the people who left came here to the Oregon Fairgrounds, where the Red Cross is set up.
It was pretty last second. We pretty much just grabbed what we could and got out. So didn't expect it to quite get as close as it did. So we hadn't packed ahead of time.
One of the many families here, the Kosel family. They left Mill City around midnight.
The fire had reached just to the other side of the St. Am, and we could see the glow coming up through there. So we just packed up and got out at that point and took off.
And on social media, we've seen the scary videos out of Mill City, flames everywhere. And from Silverton to Salem, smoke in the air. When Kosel and his family left Mill City, about 20 people in total, caravanned it to Staten.
We stayed in Staten until about 5 this morning, and then they got moved to a level 2, and so we decided to just get out of there ahead of time and try to be a little bit further ahead this time.
I woke up 7:30 this morning. It was dark.
Howard and Glenna Sproles were at the fairgrounds too, and they're also from Staten.
Smoke, you could smell the smoke. You could see the smoke. It was dark when we left there at 11:30 this morning.
Like many families, they left pretty quick and didn't have a whole lot of time to grab much.
Better be safe than sorry.
All of our neighbors are pulling out too.
It looks like it's pretty bad from the little bit we've gotten to see, and we're just grateful that we were able to get out in time and nobody got hurt. So grateful to God for that.
The Kosel family says they do have some friends they can stay with. What a tough situation to be in. So they say they'll probably be okay for tonight. Again, the Red Cross is set up at the state fairgrounds in Salem, and the Marion County Sheriff's Office says they are accepting livestock. For now, we'll send it back to you from Staten.
Christine, thank you so much. Well, in Clackamas County, more than a dozen fires forced more than 1,000 people to leave their homes. Morgan Romero is in Molalla, where one of the larger fires is at a lumber mill. And Morgan, they're trying to put this out. It's really a big challenge.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can see the wind blowing. You can hear the wind blowing in my microphone right now. Throughout the day, the wind has been a major problem for firefighters, shifting directions throughout the day. You can see the fire is still burning behind me on that stack of wood, about 50 to 60 foot logs still burning that they're going to continue to let burn because they just don't have enough water right now. And as you can imagine, wood is a fuel for the fire. This is one of the most terrible places a fire could break out, in the sense that this is just fuel to the fire, and with that shifting wind, it's just throwing embers across this road. It's called Liberal Way, and so crews have been trying to contain spot fires throughout the day. And I will say the smoke out here is just so thick. The sky is gray. You can see behind me in my live shot, it's gray, and then with an orange hue off in the distance. As we were driving around the county, we encountered a lot of different pockets of gray and red. It was very daunting, almost like a nighttime feeling in the middle of the day. Also, while we were out driving around Clackamas County, we ran into a lot of road closures because there were a lot of downed power lines due to the wind, and officials were blocking off roads as they dealt with those power lines and more spot fires.
Flames consume this timber.
So there's unlimited fuel there, just throwing embers.
Wiping out tons of RSG Forest Products supply.
And this one will consume all of this, and there's just not enough water here to put that out. So we have rigs out in the grass downwind from this, catching all the spot fires and trying to hold the fire throughout the day.
Holding it so it doesn't reach homes or burn buildings at the mill. Fire Chief Vince Stafford believes strong winds knocked a tree onto a power line on the other side of Highway 213, and up went the brush. It forced people in about 50 nearby homes to evacuate.
Of course, there's a lot of farm crops out here too that we need to protect, and people's livelihoods.
This isn't the only wildfire his agency is fighting. There's two more south of Molalla. One off Will Hoyt and Bird Roads prompted dozens of evacuations.
This kind of wind event, you know, is a once in 100-year event, and it's here. So then it only takes a little spark and kind of gets us where we are.
It's where many parts of rural Clackamas County are, draining firefighters and resources. They're just trying to keep up.
Been very busy, obviously, really stressful. Everybody's really, really tired. I think throughout the county, we got fires going everywhere.
Heavy winds, they just carry the fire such a great distance. It's hard to pre-plan where the fire's going to go. You know, it's dangerous, it's scary. We prepare for this, we practice for this.
In Colton, a wildfire off Unger Road and Highway 211 shut down streets. prompting evacuations there.
When we got to the Unger-Bauer intersection, it was just a wall of fire across the road.
It's extremely dangerous, and you think you're prepared, but when it comes right down to it, you just lose focus and you just grab what you can and get out.
A large fire in Eagle Creek near Estacada forced people out of their homes too. We saw crews prepping structures and clearing plants and brush from around houses.
We just came up about 10 minutes ago. Now we can't even get back down there. I got to evacuate. They just said we have to evacuate. I've got vehicles I got to move. I've got pets in the house that I got to get out. And I've lived down here for 31 years and never had a fire like this before. 31 years. And yeah, it's a bad one.
Fire officials say it's been extremely challenging keeping track of the now 15 fires burning, both big and small, and resources are stretched very thin. The Beachy Creek fire is one of the 15 fires burning. It caused people at the Job Corps at Ripplebrook in the Mount Hood National Forest to evacuate. And at last check with Clackamas County, evacuees can go to Malala High School. So anyone who's impacted by one of those 4 fires that prompted evacuations can go check in at Malala High School. But what's different, because we're in the middle of a COVID-19 pandemic, they're not doing congregate shelters right now, so people can check in, and there they can get hotel vouchers to stay the night somewhere if they're not staying with family and friends. Clackamas County spokeswoman told me that currently they're trying to find other locations throughout the county for people to check in at and get vouchers there that are a little bit closer to home, because as you can imagine, like I mentioned, with all those road closures and whatnot, it's been really difficult to navigate and drive throughout the county.
Yeah. Morgan, thank you so much for that report. This is just awful, too. Dozens of homes are lost in Lane County from a fire that's burning along the McKenzie River just east of Eugene. Now, the county administrator says 80 to 100 buildings have been destroyed in the Blue River fire. There was another fire burning closer to Eugene. Lane County is issuing go now evacuations for everyone from Leeburg east to the McKenzie Ranger Station. An evacuation point is set up at Thurston High School in Springfield for everyone in Blue River and to the west. People living east of Blue River need to head towards Sisters.
Now, there are also go now evacuations in Washington County. The power line fire is burning near Hagg Lake. Currently, in addition to the city of Cherry Grove, residents on Dundee Road, Southwest Patton Valley Road, Southwest Lee Road, and Southwest Cascara Road near Henry Hagg Lake are under level 3 evacuation orders. Crews have been using air tankers to dump the fire retardant in that area. They're hoping that got the fire contained.
Well, conditions aren't much better along the coast. A viewer sent us this picture of Depot Bay earlier today. It is red. You can hardly see. They say it smells awful because of all the smoke there. And further south, this is what it looked like in Newport. This is a time lapse from our Newport Skycam, and you can't even see the Yaquina Bay Bridge there. Art Edwards made the trip to the coast today and found that many people in Lincoln County don't have power.
Lincoln County has declared a state of emergency. They're dealing with 3 fires, one of them off Echo Mountain Road near Highway 18.
We could hear houses falling, we could exploding up in the woods, and it's just crazy. They're evacuating people out of here, and like I just heard something explode just now.
Evacuation orders are in effect for some areas off Highway 18, and Highway 18 is closed at milepost 7. Overnight, a horse got loose, frightened by the smoke and fire. Good Samaritans got the horse to safety. By daylight, the extent of the damage became apparent. The darkened sky could be seen even before making it into Lincoln County. At this Lincoln City strip mall, no power, trees brought down by strong winds, and other damage. For some, the power has been out since about 9 o'clock Monday night. Lincoln County's emergency manager says power outages are a combination of Pacific Power shutting down power as a precaution and also down power lines. Crews are working to repair the damage. People living in Lincoln City say they haven't seen it like this in years.
What did the sky look like? It was burning like the Lion King movie. I mean, you wouldn't believe it. Jesus. Oh, and it was like bada bing. I mean, look at the sun. If that's the sun or the moon, I don't know. It looks like a little red nickel in the sky.
It was pretty scary situation, last night and this morning.
There's damage in other parts of Lincoln County as well. The Oregon Coast Aquarium in Newport is closed because of the poor air quality and trees down in the property. All the animals are fine.
If you can imagine, on top of all of this, kids are trying to do remote schooling. Lincoln County School District canceled classes today because of power and internet issues.
Now, we want to give you a live look from Sky 8 right now. The chopper is over the metro area looking south towards those fires in Marion County. You can see just a huge plume of smoke darkening the sky. Images that we're seeing come in really astounding, showing the devastation. Governor Brown has cleared the way for State Fire Marshal to mobilize firefighters and equipment to assist local resources battling these fires. She held an emergency news conference just about an hour ago and has this message for Oregonians.
The situation is very dangerous. Wind continues to fuel these wildfires with devastating consequences across the entire state of Oregon. People's homes, lives, and land are at risk. And it's not over. If you are in an evacuation area, please pay close attention and listen to local calls to evacuate as needed. This can save your life, your family, and the lives of our firefighters.
Yeah, we don't want to lose track. When we see these images, it's the people that we really got to think about here. Now, Governor Brown says that she's going to approve more resources if they're needed.
Well, here's a way you can help here. Oregon and Washington residents affected by wildfires that are burning throughout the Northwest. Today, KGW activated the Northwest Emergency Response Fund. So just open your phone's camera. You just have to scan the code that you see right here on your screen, and that will automatically take you to the Red Cross website where you can make a donation. Your money will go straight to helping Northwest residents affected by all of these wildfires.